Hare Krishna. Now we have this interesting topic. If black magic can affect devotees. Yes, why not? If we are doing external devotional service, not keeping strictly to the regulative principles, not chanting of without offense, not keeping to the orders of the spiritual master, will be affected. Because black magic is also Krishna's energy. Therefore, it has effect. We also see that before coming to Krishna consciousness, many of us have done so many things that attract lower entities. There are lower entities that stay with us. For example, people are possessed with some other lower entities, ghosts and hobblings like that. Some people already have these things before joining Krishna consciousness, so they are there. Many other living entities live with the body, live with us in the body. So we can be affected by it. If our devotional sadhana is not strong, we'll be affected. So a devotee in the true term of it, a devotee will not be affected. A devotee will not be affected. But weak devotees who are not practicing seriously will be affected. So the Prabhupada mentioned in a Krishna book that witches and wizards cannot operate where pure Krishna consciousness is going on. That is true. And in London, when the place was haunted, Prabhupada has asked devotees to chant the holy name, to have kirtan there. And that will free the environment from all those entities. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained a ghost was living on a tree, and he employed one devotee to read Srimad Bhagavatam. And because the Bhagavatam was recited powerfully, the ghost disappeared from there. But in an environment where the reciter is not strong and not faithful, it will not be so effective. So the question, are the devotees affected or not affected, it depends on how we are living our Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious life. If you look very carefully also, for example, Lord Ramachandra is fighting the Ravana. What do we see in the battlefield? Indraji was demonstrating magical feats. He was using all these abilities he had acquired from austerity he performed. Sometimes he would create false Sita. He did that, created false Sita. Sometimes he will become invisible and fight with Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana. They were shot down by his arrows. He became invisible using his power. He did that. We saw all this. So what do we understand by this? It is not that the Supreme Lord is affected by this, that he fell unconscious and by a jiva, a significant jiva, has the power to disturb the Lord by magical power, by mystic power. It is not. But we should understand that in a Vedic culture, civilized people have respect for everything. For example, when Lord Brahma had given power to Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrsimhadev respected Lord Brahma, and he kept all the boons he gave to him intact. At the same time, he showed that before the Lord, nothing can work. Yet, the Lord also demonstrated that if we are not strong in our Krishna consciousness, we will be affected. This he has demonstrated in many ways. Lord Nrsimhadev kept the boons intact. At the same time, he showed his supreme position by killing Hiranyakashipu. Lord Ramachandra, he honored his energies, also teachers. And he is playing the part of a human being. Although he's the Supreme Lord, he's playing the part of a human being. Yet, he showed us that if we are not strong in our Krishna consciousness, we'll be affected. Because they are also his energy. He has respect. He has respect for them. In our own case, the respect, we are affected because we are having low consciousness, we are affected. But for the Lord, they are demonstrating to us that we are not strong in Krishna consciousness, we'll be affected. So we should be very, very strict in our Krishna consciousness. We should be very, very strong. We should take our sadhana very seriously, so that we will never be affected by all these energies. If we are not, we'll be affected. That is a fact. And we have to deal with them. They will affect us in our practice. And people who are into drugs, into illicit sex, they are open to these lower entities to possess them and use them, because they need the body. They are Lord Shiva's associate. And Lord Shiva passes at twilight every day. When he sees the living entities are opened by their sinful activities to this, he will send some of them there. So even if devotees are misbehaving, not keeping to our principles, Lord Shiva will not spare anyone. This is the philosophy in the Bhagavatam. Kashyapa told this to his wife. Although Lord Shiva is related with you, but he does not show partiality. If you behave well, he will treat you nicely. If you behave nicely, he will deal with you. That is Lord Shiva. So, that principle applies to everyone. Lord Shiva is very kind to everyone. The ghosts who are associating with him for their own welfare, Lord Shiva is looking for the opportunity for those who are misbehaving to send them to the womb so that they can have body to be relieved from the anxiety. So if we are misbehaving, doing sinful activities, we will equally be punished by Lord Shiva. Like we will send those entities to a family, or they will possess us. Someone is taking drugs, we'll be possessed. Because our consciousness is very weak and dull, it will give chance to these entities to enter. And they punish us. This message is very clear. So, we also saw this, and Dhruva Maharaj was fighting with the Yakshas. They created all this magical feat. They created it. And the sea was coming to swallow Dhruva Maharaj. He was not affected because of his spiritual position, his spiritual quality. He was not affected. Also because he was also supported by the central person, the sadhu, the great sages who chanted mantras for him. He was fully protected. If he is not spiritually powerful, he will be affected. But because of his spirituality, he is not affected. So all these demons, they have this power. They can use it on people who are very weak and be affected. So it is not just sufficient, not enough for anyone to just be a Hare Krishna member. It is not enough. Just to take beat and chant is not enough. How we are chanting is very important. We should consider that. Otherwise, when these negative energies are thrown to us, we'll be affected. Especially in Kali Yuga, these energies are prominent. And Bhagavatam mentioned that when the breeze is having a sound, it means a demon is passing. And these days you regularly see this. In some countries it's regular, every day you see. It means the demons are passing. And most of the difficulties devotees are having is due to the influence. So Bhagavatam mentioned, first canto, that the sages were worried about Kali Yuga because everything is difficult. Not the difficulties the devotees are passing into our Krishna consciousness, not necessarily or just our own karma alone. It is due to some other entities who are envious about devotees practicing Krishna consciousness. They don't have access, but devotees are practicing. So they're out of envy, they will attack devotees. If we are not careful, we'll be affected. So the sages, they saw this, that energy will prominent in Kali Yuga, and looking for the solution, they went to Lord Brahma and asked him, where is the place we can perform, auspicious place that we can perform austerities? Lord Brahma showed them Naimesharaya. A proper mention in a proper day. Anyone who perform spiritual activities in Naimesharaya, it will curtail the strength of the demons. It will check the power of the demons. If we chant, if we have kirtan, or if we perform jagya, any form of jagya, auspicious jagya in Naimesharaya, the strength of the demons will be checked. Therefore, Lord Brahma directed them to Naimesharaya, and the sages went there to perform jagya. The Sudha Goswami came there to speak the Bhagavatam to them. Because by speaking Bhagavatam here in Naimesharaya, all inauspicious things be cleared. Auspiciousness will be created. These are the information we get from the scripture. And it's our duty to make use of them for our own benefit. Otherwise, we'll be affected. We get influenced by the associate of Lord Shiva. We should know that these energies does exist, and they are existing. And you look at our scriptures, you see all these things in the past. In Putana. What is Putana? She jumped from tree to tree. That's how they traveled. Kicheri. They travel from tree to tree. And they perpetrate their evils. When devotees are not acting properly, are not keeping properly to the regulations, to the rules and regulations. One of the ways that nature will punish us is by this, the negative energies, witchcraft, wizard. And it doesn't matter if we deny it or don't deny it. We have a devotee in Odisha who is doing this, helping devotees who have these energies. It is not cheating. It is real that such entities or such things are happening and devotees get sick, and he does the rituals to exorcise devotees by taking all these unnecessary entities from the body of those who are affected. And the health will be different. They will experience difference. So it is real that is happening. It is not an imagination, or we can use a philosophy to justify where is the wizard or black magic. Well, it does not exist for those who are on a transcendental level, those who are really pure, very pure. It does not exist. Negativity does not exist for pure devotees. It doesn't. We also I just remember also some incident with the Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami in Calcutta, the temple. A devotee has complained of ghosts disturbing. A devotee has complained, and his divine grace like Bhakti Dhira Swami has to deal with it by chanting. So suppose he's not there with his spiritual power, the devotee is being affected. So, how is that illusion? Is it illusion? It happened, and Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami has to deal with it to free the devotee from it. What does Srila Bhakti not talk about? When the yogi was showing his power, all the children were sick. Can we say this illusion? It doesn't happen? It happened. All the children were sick, and Bhakti Dhira himself was sick. Although he's a pure devotee, was not affected. But the family members were affected, and the wife complained. Even other people, they complained, they warned him, please, even in the name of showing justice, this man has power. Don't go there, he will deal with you. They didn't know the strength, the spiritual power, the potency of Bhakti Dhira. Because Vaishnava, they don't show these things. So they didn't know his strength. But he still went ahead. Not because he wanted to show his power, but he has to establish justice. He has to protect Krishna Consciousness. He has to protect devotees. Therefore, he took the risk. Which is necessary for devotees. Pure devotees or devotees in general should take risks to protect this movement, to protect the culture of bhakti, to protect the society, to protect devotees who are practicing. Srila Bhakti Dhira took risk. He came forward to deal with this yogi, and the yogi showed his power. All the children were sick, including Srila Bhakti Dhira himself. He is a pure devotee, so he didn't worry about it. He didn't care about it. He was satisfied with it. But because the wife was disturbed, Krishna has to come in and told Srila Bhakti Dhira they should go and shave the dreadlock of this man. That was done. And the yogi left the body, died. And everything became normal. So it is happening. And it is not a fiction. It is happening. And it will affect us if we are not taking our devotional service very, very seriously. So, Bhakti Dhira showed us this. And also, in his own life as Bhakti Dhira, when he took over the management of Jagannath Puri, the king who was there at that time, he has stolen money from the Lord. Srila Bhakti Dhira discovered it, and he dealt with the matter very seriously. He didn't cover him up. He gave him a quality of prasadam that should be maintained, so that all the money he stole be used back to the Lord. The king was very, very disturbed. So he went and employed the tantrists. He employed them to come and perform jagya to kill Srila Bhakti Dhira. So they came and performed deadly rituals. He performed deadly rituals to kill Srila Bhakti Dhira. But he was carefree and was undaunted. He was not affected, because he knows he is purely representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he continued to make sure he forced this king to use the money back. The king was very disturbed. He employed these people to come and kill Bhakti Dhira. And his priests were chanting and chanting. The last day of the sacrifice, when they say Swaha, his own son died. The man was very disturbed, was afraid. His own son died. The last ritual, oblation to the fire. The king's son died. The only son died instantly. He took that as a warning that the Lord has replaced his son with Bhakti Dhira Damodara because he's a pure devotee and he has nothing against the king. He was simply helping the king, but he, being a demon, could not appreciate that. So he wanted to kill Bhakti Dhira Damodara, but instead his own son died from the jaga he was performing. Not that Bhakti Dhira Damodara killed him. So this science is working, and it will work on devotees who are not very serious in our practice. For those who are serious in our practice, it does not work. It will not affect, but still, we will have the experience to let us see that such things exist, and because they are also Krishna's energy, they will have effect. Will not be destroyed, but we will experience it. There are so many things Krishna Consciousness is doing in protecting us that we don't see. That does not mean that we should be unappreciative and see what Krishna is doing. We should see it. We also remember in Dwaraka, and there are many. You look at our scripture, you see all these things clearly. In Dwaraka, Lord Krishna having this battle, and his son, Pradyumna also was in battle. And he was shot down. One can say he is directly the son of Krishna. He has all the qualities of Krishna. Why is he affected by this weapon? He regained consciousness and continued his fighting and won the battle. So the idea is that, the lesson is that these things will not affect devotees, but we will experience it. Krishna allows us to experience it, to see that these things are there, and we should be careful how we practice our Krishna consciousness, so that the protection which is there will be fully manifested, and we will also appreciate what Krishna is doing, the protection Krishna is giving to us that we don't really know. We don't see so many things Krishna is doing to protect us, but Krishna is doing so much. And sometimes we need to see these things so we can really see what Krishna is doing. Otherwise, we will not believe due to our faithlessness and see how Krishna is working. So these energies, they are there, and they can affect us depending on the quality of our practice. So we are repeating that we should make our sadhana very, very strong, regular, should be steady, and goal-oriented. Then everything will become wonderful. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.